What's up, guys? We are going to be going into a Goliath game, I believe on Orbital Drill. We're up against a Hank Lazarus team with Torvald and Crow. So, I'm pretty bad against the Lazarus teams with Goliath, but we'll see how it goes. I have issues tracking cloaked people on Goliath inside of fights pretty often. For me, it's a lot easier with Gorgon. I guess it's probably because web is easier to see than when they're on fire. I don't know. It's nice that I got movement speed really early, though. That's going to help out a lot. That took way too long to kill that 2 meat, but looks like I'll get a couple mammoth birds. Alright, so they should be coming pretty soon because of that little bit of wasted time. Yeah, there they are. I'm actually surprised they didn't get the dome on me. They were pretty close. I don't know if maybe they didn't see me because of the fog and rain. That leap smash was kind of weird. Looked like it was supposed to hit that mammoth bird. Alright, so right now I just want to get evolved ready before I take my first dome. I'm pretty close. I am stuck a little bit in a corner here though. And it looks like they are right here. That's Crow. He could have thrown the dome. Maybe they're a dome holding team. It's not as common anymore because you get a little bit of armor. Oh, actually they missed their dome. That's pretty good for me. I don't know why he didn't throw it earlier. Maybe he just hadn't switched to it, and by the time he switched to it, I was already leapt away. I'm not sure. But I'm going to be able to get the evolve off without risk of even taking my first fight, which is nice. If I did have to take a fight there, it wouldn't have been the worst thing. I would have just had to find a 1-meat creature as soon as the dome ended and then get a quick evolve off. Go ahead and take 3 in a rock throw like I normally do. Gives you a lot of downing potential. You basically use your other abilities to get them in the range where a rock throw will down them, and then just hit with the rock throw once and you get the down penalty. Although in this team I'm gonna have to go after Hank, and then as soon as Hank is down I'll have to either guard the body or go after Lazarus, depending on if Lazarus is cloaked or not. If I can find Lazarus, I can go after him until he cloaks, and then you go back to guarding the body until his cloak is off. Which is actually pretty hard to do against a Torvald because Torvald mortars are so strong. It's really good at preventing body camping, which is what you sometimes have to do against a Lazarus. I don't have to do it as much when I'm playing Gorgon because it's a lot easier for me to track invisible people, but on Goliath that's what I tend to do. Doesn't really look like they're following me. I might see if I can sneak back on my track. Scobie's really good at preventing this sort of thing because he sees through walls, so you can't really trick him. And as I say that, Gobi spots me, so yeah. It's somewhat doable to not follow directly with a Gobi if you have a really good Crow player, because you can kind of send him in the direction where a double back would happen, and then if Gobi catches it, obviously you're good. But if somehow the monster manages to get through, it's a lot harder for Crow to get back on the track of the monster than other hunters. That said, outside of like Maggie for finding the monster, I think Gobi's probably the next best. Griffin can be good once he sets up his sound spikes, but Now that he only has 3, it's a lot more difficult. That was a terrible rock throw. Good orbital though. I didn't even notice it coming down. This should be good. They should not have all came down here into that. I'm not sure if I got Hank down or not. He was low, and if I hit him with that overhead swing to knock him back down into the charge, I guess he didn't. I was gonna say he would have went down to that, but I saw him shooting after that. Alright, so I'm gonna have to disengage. There's some weird stuff. I'm wondering if maybe I'm lagging. My abilities seem like they're timed like a second or two after, and some of the... Goliath is one of the worst with lag. And yeah, that's definitely lag. Yeah, my ping's 200. So that's the worst, is when there's a couple things, like you can rock throw people, and even if you hit them directly, it won't explode on them. That's obviously the most punishing, and then leap smash you can kind of desync from the client with Goliath. And you'll see where you think the leap smash is going, and the client registers it somewhere else, and you can see the explosion happen somewhere where you're not even at. Like you saw back there when I was just traversing. So Goliath is pretty punished by lag, mainly because of rock throw, because he has to be so precise. Gorgon not nearly as much, because all of Gorgon's abilities are a big area of effect. So it doesn't really matter if the hunters are just a little bit in a different area slightly than where you actually see them. You just kind of put stuff down around them and deal damage. We'll see if I can sneak around this assault who's following directly. If I can, I'll get some distance. It looks like maybe someone else sees me or something. He turned around almost instantly. Either he caught the tail end of my movement, or he had a buddy watching in his direction and saw me sneaking around that. Yeah, it looks like probably over there. Alright, well it's just assault, so I can just kind of like deal a little bit of damage to him. And if I do take a dome, it's not the biggest deal. I am evolve ready. It's completely fine. I'll even engage a little bit. Okay, so they did decide to throw the dome here. It's not a bad dome spot. There's a lot of obstacles that I can use to mitigate damage. I would like to get a down penalty on Lazarus, because it would make my stage 3 fight a lot easier. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to until stage 3 with the little bit of lag I have. But we'll try it out. That was a good rock throw. Another good orbital. Oh wow, Hank's still really high. I thought he was almost dead. Lazarus has gotten a lot of buffs to his healing, and I'm still not used to it. I'm not going to take a whole lot of damage, but I didn't get anything done during that fight. It'll be a lot easier at stage 3 because I'm going to probably take 3 into Flame Breath, which makes it a lot easier for me to deal consistent damage even with lag. Flame Breath is obviously really easy to aim. It's in a cone, so even if the hunter isn't in the exact position, I'll probably still be hitting them with it. I'll still have to probably hit a rock throw to be able to get the down penalty, but it'll be more consistent damage overall to get him into that zone. Alright, I'm still in a good spot. I haven't taken a whole lot of damage. It's basically an even game. So I'll max out that, and I guess I'll take a little bit into Leap Smash just because it's a bigger area of effect. Easier for me to land it. Although it can bug out a little bit when there's desync. It's not a big deal. This is a pretty difficult relay to fight at. There's a lot of areas where they can stand in different columns that Goliath has a hard time with. But I just need one good fight and I can end the game. Which is usually what I go for when I'm lagging with Goliath. I remember a couple games where I've had to do this. I basically just have to take fight after fight until I get one good start to a fight, and then I can end the game. Lazarus teams crumple really quickly once Lazarus goes down. It's just getting Lazarus down initially. And with Hank it makes it a lot harder. Right, so Hank's over there. We'll go after him first. It wasn't a great engage, so again I'm just gonna armor back up if I can. Try it again. I don't think I forced out the cloak, which is unfortunate, but... Almost looked like another power relay on the back there, I never really noticed that. Should hit this. Wow, that was a good orbital. I mean, I don't think he knew what he was doing, but he knocked himself away just in time, or I would have hit with that rock throw. Alright, I know I also forced up the cloak, so... That's off. That just looks a little bit better for me, actually. Yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna see Torvald just shred me because of the body camping stuff. There's Lazarus, I'll go after him until I force out his cloak. I think I just did. Oh, these mortars are gonna hurt. I know he's right here. Wow, he actually got him up through my... in between my auto attacks. That's pretty bad for me. That could be game ending. That normally doesn't happen. It probably was lag. I don't think it's... there was a rock there that I hit with, but it didn't deal damage. I mean, maybe it's possible if he went in right after I had auto attacked and went for the glove. If you time it perfectly, it's possible that that's doable. I'm not really sure. But more often than not, Lazarus gets hit if you're just auto attacking the body or the corpse. If I can stay with Lazarus here, it'll be really good. I'm not sure where he went though. Looks like someone's trying to get Hank up. Alright, support's down. I gotta wait until Lazarus comes back. I'm low. Okay, there's Laz. There, I got Laz down. That's good. I can probably end it here now. This, like I said, as soon as Lazarus goes down, it's a lot easier. I am kind of low, but I think I can do this. I just have to find him, so I'm gonna follow the tracks as soon as I kill off Assault. It was closer than I wanted it to be, though. That was a scary game. This is a really well thought out team. I don't know if they like actually play together, but the comp is good. They all complement each other. Crow doesn't really do a whole lot, but everybody else, like Torvald with the anti-body camping, Hank, so you have to go through Hank before Lazarus, and Lazarus just because it makes it a lot more difficult. That should have hit, I think. But yeah, then he's not going to survive for a minute. It's going to be over right here. So, there we go. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.